Morning guys, it's Brian. I was on a thread yesterday and the point of discussion was nose-in hover, and it involved coaxials and excuse me, coaxials and collective pitch helicopters, and I added my 2 cents this morning that probably the best way to learn if you're opposed to simulators like myself is to get you a helicopter, get your regular skill set down on a collective pitch helicopter, and get it trimmed out perfectly, and find you a still morning much like today, and see if you can't just teach yourself to rotate it. Eventually you're going to do 360s with it. Pirouettes. And what I eventually started doing was doing slow pirouettes and then stopping about halfway around, doing the old 180, and letting it hang in the air, for lack of better terms. In case I hadn't mentioned, this is my HK 450 GT. I noticed my blade tracking is out. I'm in due need of getting the doing an R&R on this one, refurbish and rebuild. But anyway, I'm not, by no stretch of the imagination, a genius at this, but I can do it well enough to approximate. Now, here in a minute I'll fly the 500, and because of its sheer mass it's significantly more stable and works out a lot better for me. But yeah, you can hover for quite a bit if it's dead calm outside and you've got the bird trimmed out in such a way to where you're not drifting left to right inherently, or backward to forward inherently. Oh, and sure, I'm running around the spectrum here a bit, but have a light wind. Very light, but enough to bob this little thing around. Let's see if I can do a decent one. I'll have to concentrate for this one. So easy to lose perspective on it too when it's nose in. You can't tell whether it's drifting forward or aft or left or right. And you just got to be prepared to whip that tail around and get you back into an orientation you're comfortable with. The camera mount that I'm using for this is made by a fellow named Joaquin it's Tinkman. You'd have to Google it. Tinkman, I don't know if it's .org or what it is, but Tinkman. And he sells a variety of key fob camera mounts that he engineers himself. Tinkman Engineering, that's what it is. But yeah, if it's kind of dead calm outside and you rotate it around, you can kind of just figure out which way you should be pointing it, and actually it happens for me without much thought. Oh, a little itchy nose syndrome. Goodness. Better. Let's carry her up one more time and see what we can do here. Little nose in hover. Or in my case, nose in bob about. But you get the picture. Just got to be prepared to whip that old tail around and get yourself back. using a Turnigy MEMS gyro. I'm borrowing a Nanotech battery that I'm not used to. It was given to me by a friend of mine, and it's unbelievably powerful on this little Turnigy 2115, 2115. So it's making this thing a little sketchy. It's kind of funny. Tail servo is a Hyperion, and I can never remember the model number, but it's unbelievably fast and highly efficient. We must be getting towards its low voltage cutoff, best I can tell. Now, it works better if I had the thing close to me, but the downside is that it's slinging two 18-inch knife blades at about warp 10. And by having it so close, you risk personal injury. Alright, well, I've demonstrated the virtues of nose in from a novice point of view. And we'll bring up the HK500 GT for a little of the same. Starting to get a little brisk from the wind. Alright, part A. See ya.